point. The dynamics and the strengths and the opportunities for a Pisces ascendant native in the relationship is that during the initial part, when they're selecting the partner and during the dating period or their romance life, they tend to be pushed into the relationship by sheer emotionality of how both of them approach the relationship. The Pisces person is a person which is a very fluid energy, and they are very imaginative, they are very, very creative, and they fall for the soft sensitivity, the mushiness, and the caring attitude and the supporting attitude of the opposite partner. And because they themselves are watery sign, they get flowed by the strong currents of emotions, and they start to depend on the person for their own emotional needs, and they tend to fall for the person and assume that together, both of them being something to nurture the relationship, it makes sense to come together. However, because the energies of the marriage is the Virgo energies, so they tend to later on, after the emotional honeymoon period has died down, there may be an analytical energy which creeps into the relationship, which means they start to analyze whether they truly serve each other, whether they're truly emotionally close to each other, and they also look at how much of an emotional need of theirs is being served by the other person. Here, more than the material needs that generally may affect some other relations, here they strongly look at whether I am being loved enough, whether I am being cared enough, whether I am being nourished enough. And if they feel with their more analytical eye that they don't find that the relationship is serving, the relationship is balanced, they don't feel that they are cared enough, they are loved enough, they are supported enough, the relationship nourishes them, then the dual-mindedness of Gemini comes in, which means they tend to start doubting whether they want to be in the relationship or not. And so if they don't work on setting aside the over analytical ability, but analyze how they can come together, analyze how they can better suit each other, analyze how they can continue to emotionally support each other, and set aside those things which are disturbing the marriage, then through their communication, through sitting down and working on how they can communicate their way to having a stable marriage, and bringing in the love and affection and supportive nature of the Gemini person who's ready to talk out their differences. And so by talking with each other, by being balanced in their need for nurturing, for their need to be supportive, for their need for emotional balance, they will be able to keep the marriage stable, the marriage more long lasting, and the marriage truly nourishing, and the relationship will be a prosperous one and a truly imaginative and creative one, which the Pisces energies also brings. And these are the challenges, dynamics and strengths for a Pisces ascendant native in the relationship.